everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. I hope you know where your umbrella is.
Yeah, you're going to need it today and tomorrow probably too.
That's what's typing our news on this Tuesday. What's left of Tropical Depression Cristobal continues to weaken, but is bringing plenty of rain to the Midwest.
Later this hour, Mark and I will share our conversation with Governor Tony Evers, how he is responding to demands from Black Lives Matter protesters.
And in an hours-long funeral in Texas, they say goodbye to George Floyd as protests for reform continue across the country. Let's take a look outside. This is a shot before the rain started. Kind of humid out today, and we have an evening deluge coming. Dana's in the backyard. That sounds threatening.
Sometimes Gary gets a little excited with weather words and, likes to get creative. No, that shot and everything outside right now, it's just so green and lush. I know the heavier rain's building in, but I appreciate maybe just the plants getting a little bit of a drink this evening. Here's a live look in Platteville where it is raining right now with that dark sky. I can confirm that it is also raining in Madison. Looking at our Doppler radar, we don't have much lightning right now. There's a little lightning with that heavier band at the very southwest corner of Dane County. Otherwise, it is mostly rain and a lot of wind. Looking at the next 3 hours, these showers are going to continue to spiral and lift northwest. So the heavy rainfall just south of Madison right now, that'll be entering the area here in the next 30-40 minutes and then continuing through the evening and overnight. There's a flash flood watch through the rest of the night into early Wednesday morning for some counties, for the western counties, and a wind advisory to the east of Dane County as those wind gusts expected to pick up just a little bit more. As we take a look at traffic right now, the roads are wet, and again, it is windy outside, so high-profile vehicles, definitely want to give them just a little extra space, and certainly when the roads are wet, give yourself a little extra space behind any cars as well. But otherwise, traffic actually looks pretty smooth. No accidents to report. From Janesville to the Beltline, 26 minutes, 17 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton this evening, and 9 minutes to get from Sun Prairie to downtown.
Just slow down in the rain.
Yes.
All right, Dana, thank you.
I want to say it again. This will be a homegoing celebration of Brother George Floyd's life.
Now, you know what that means. That means foot stomping, toe tapping, shouting hallelujah, praising God. Amen.
The body of George Floyd makes its final journey today to be laid to rest next to his mother in Texas. Police officers saluted as George Floyd's casket was carried into the Fountain of Praise Church in Houston. Family members arrived wearing white for a private service in the city where Floyd grew up. The Reverend Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy.
This was not just a tragedy. It was a crime.
Floyd's death in Minneapolis, where a police officer knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes, has inspired a nationwide movement against racial injustice. But today in Houston, it was a time for reflection. The funeral service was by invitation only, but yesterday the church welcomed the public and mourners poured in by the thousands. The city will talk about its next steps in getting an independent police auditor at a meeting tonight.
Our Amy Reed is live to explain why some are not happy with the discussion so far. Amy?
The decision to hire an auditor has essentially already been made. The council decided that when they approved the money last year, and now we're looking at specifics. The mayor has posted a job description for the position with the agenda for tonight's finance committee meeting, which is where these talks are starting. It outlines the auditor will report to the mayor, council, and a civilian oversight board. Another group the finance committee has to sign off on tonight. The description says the auditor will monitor the police department's compliance with city and police policies. They will oversee a process for receiving and investigating complaints against the department and recommend changes when appropriate. They will also have to compile quarterly reports for council, annual reports for the mayor, and regular reports to the oversight board. For independence, they can't have worked at the Madison Police Department. I spoke with one of the alders on the committee, and he said the hope is to get the details worked out tonight to get this finalized quickly, even as they tackle challenges with next year's budget.
There have been hundreds of years that people have waited for us to correct a lot of inequities in our society. And so, I don't want to say whatever cost. Obviously, we need to be reasonable about that. But I do think that the stuff that we've approved so far and the funding that we've approved so far is a responsible way of spending funds and incredibly necessary.
There are some concerns from the groups that are protesting this week and the people on the committee that analyzed the recommendations from an independent report. They worry the way the position is written now, it goes through the mayor and council, which could affect how independent this auditor could be. One committee member said through their study, they found police oversight is difficult, and this step in coming up with the system is what matters. They told me it's worth taking the time to make sure that it's right and come up with a structure that allows the position to have power that's independent of the mayor.
Amy Reed reporting live for us. Thank you, Amy. National Guard troops will no longer man protests here in Wisconsin. Hundreds of troops were sent to Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay to help protect property and the safety of protesters. George Floyd's death has sparked weeks of protest around the world. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill will ramp up the debate over reforming law enforcement policies. Skylar Henry is in Washington with more.
Congressional Republicans say they're working on their own police reform proposals, a day after the Democrats unveiled a massive new bill.
Under the leadership and guidance of Senator Tim Scott, at some point in the near future, we'll have recommendations to be made.
Right now, I haven't seen a package of reforms that I think will go anywhere, but I think there's always an opportunity, so we'll see what develops.
The Democrats' legislation would make it easier to prosecute officers for brutality, create a registry to track police misconduct, and set new standards for the use of force.
Well, there's some of the things in the Democratic bills I could support, some I can't. A national registry of tracking how often does this occur.
The White House also says it's looking at police reform proposals, but the Trump administration has yet to issue any plan of its own.
We're going to work and we're going to talk about ideas how we can do it better and how we can do it, if possible, in a much more gentle fashion.
President Trump is also facing backlash for questioning the motives of the 75-year-old activist shoved on the ground by Buffalo police officers during a protest last Friday. The president tweeted, "Martin Gugino could be an Antifa provocateur," and said, "I watched. He fell harder than was pushed. Could be a setup."
How reckless, how irresponsible, how mean, how crude. He should apologize for that tweet.
Gugino remains hospitalized in serious but stable condition. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And those with knowledge of the Senate Republicans' police reform negotiations say lawmakers have been in touch with the White House but have not solicited feedback at this point.
Meanwhile, in Madison last night, protesters painted "Defund Police" on MLK Boulevard outside of the city-county building and near the Capitol. No one from the city stopped the painting last night. Tonight, Gayle King will anchor the primetime special Justice for All. It explores how the activism that we're seeing now could change racism within the ranks of law enforcement forever. It will air tonight beginning at 9 o'clock right here on CBS.
The coronavirus still continues to spread in Wisconsin. More than 21,000 people have now tested positive since the outbreak began. One more person died in Dane County today. 663 people have died across the state. Every state in the country is now partially reopened. Yesterday, the World Health Organization announced that recent data suggests asymptomatic transmission of the virus is, quote, very rare. CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus believes that announcement was, quote, irresponsible.
Asymptomatic people fall into two buckets. One is people who would be asymptomatic for the whole course of the virus, and the others who are what we call pre-symptomatic. So they're asymptomatic, but they will get symptoms in several days. In both cases, they can transmit the virus. So this announcement should not change behavior.
If you're going to travel this summer, here's the guidance from the health experts. Unless you've been able to quarantine with the person you're traveling with, you should stay at least 6 feet apart, wash your hands regularly, and commonly disinfect those surfaces around you. You should also wear a mask. It's been almost 11 weeks since Safer at Home was first enacted in Wisconsin, and the state is slowly reopening.
But many small businesses are still struggling and will have to put out more money and resources in order to open up again. Amanda Quintana is here with how the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is trying to help. Amanda?
You may remember 3 weeks ago, Governor Tony Evers announced the We're All In initiative to help local businesses bounce back from the pandemic. It's $75 million in funding from the Federal CARES Act that'll be given out through grants worth $2,500 or more to 30,000 small businesses. Those are businesses that have 20 employees or less and have less than $1 million in revenue.
While $2,500 might not be a lot to some businesses, for these businesses that are faced with buying PPP for their employees or buying inventory so they can reopen their doors. We hope that this grant will assist in their recovery.
When Governor Evers made the announcement about this initiative, many business owners reached out to us excited to apply, but the application window was not open yet. Today, Weedick said it will open on June 15th at 8 a.m. and businesses will have a full week to apply ending on June 21st. Weedick says they've seen the stress caused by some programs offering first come, first serve grants, and they do not want to have that.
Amanda, thank you. Voters in 5 states are casting ballots in primary contests today, but the lessons of Russian interference in the 2016 election are looming. Cybersecurity experts are working overtime to protect the upcoming presidential election from hackers, and they're tackling the threat one state at a time. The University of Southern California Elections Cybersecurity Initiative is organizing training coast to coast. Adam Powell is the executive director.
So what we're seeing this year is far more than in 2016. Russia and China and Iran are very, very active in this area.
Just last week, Google's threat analysis group reported foreign actors had already targeted Joe Biden and President Trump's campaign staffers. While there was no sign that accounts were compromised, Powell has warned of dozens of countries using cyber attacks and disinformation in attempts to influence the election.
Relations between North and South Korea are the worst they've been since 2018 military agreement. Today, North Korea formally cut off all communication with their neighbors to the south. North Korean defectors launched leaflets across the border into North Korea, criticizing Kim Jong-un's regime. Their message was received. North Korean state TV showed students in Pyongyang staging a large rally against the South Korean government while chanting "Death to defectors." North Korea state TV also announced the government was cutting all communication with South Korea. A South Korean Defense Ministry official confirms the North didn't answer their call for the first time in 2 years. Some analysts are concerned about the escalation.
So far, South Koreans are not paying much attention to the North Korean threats. Well, probably we are going to see more threats and maybe some action.
Experts say another likely response could include new North Korean missile tests. In an effort to ease tensions, South Korean leaders say they plan to push new laws to ban activists from flying anti-North leaflets over the border.
The Verona city administrator confirms to News 3 now that Costco has submitted a plan for a brand new store in the city of Verona. It will be located on the corner of Highway M and PB. If passed, construction is scheduled to start in the fall of 2021 or 2022, and the store would likely open the following summer.
Well, still to come at 4, summertime means it's grilling time.
When we come back, before you fire up the grill, Consumer Reports has some tips to make your barbecue even better. Our Leah Linscheid will have that when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Welcome to the all-new Dwellings.
Bathing safety is essential. So-called Mad City Baths for high-quality, easy-access bath and shower designs installed in as little as 1 day. From walk-in and barrier-free showers to walk-in tubs with microban protection to prevent the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew. Premium wall patterns like Canyon Rock, Sierra Sand, and more. Mad City Baths is Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Call now during our summer spectacular sale. Get a new bath or shower for only $49.95. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And call during this program for a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Now offering flexible installation schedules and virtual online estimates. Throughout Madison and South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. Be Be sure to ask about Mad City's Do More discount. Get additional savings on new windows and kitchen upgrades. We're going to put a great product in your home, like our durable one-day bath and shower systems. See the before and after difference? We have thousands of satisfied customers.
I'd rate Mad City baths 10 out of 10 because of how easy they were to work with, how professional their salespeople and their installers were, and then the quality of the finished product.
Be sure to take advantage of the savings during our summer spectacular sale. Get a new bath or shower for only $49.95. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And call during this program for a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Now offering virtual online estimates. Call 608-729-4466.
Now I get to make a difference in people's lives the way that the nurses that took care of my grandma made a difference in her life.
Now is the time to change your life. Herzing University makes it possible without leaving home. Herzing offers dozens of online degrees in nursing, healthcare, IT, and business. Start studying online and take the first step toward a new career.
I'm an ICU nurse.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Dwellings, Madison's best kept $150 secret. Now open in Fitchburg.
Investors on Wall Street put the current rally on hold. The Dow Industrials fell 300 points, closing at 27,272. The Nasdaq managed a 29-point gain, but the S&P 500 fell 25. We've all been spending a lot more time at home lately, so you might be getting sick of cooking and cooking and cooking in the kitchen.
That's true. Consumer Reports grilling expert has some recommendations. Here's News 3's Leah Linscheid.
Is your go-to dinner on heavy rotation these days? Consumer Reports' Paul Hope says get outdoors and start grilling.
If you're feeling a little stir-crazy, grilling is a great excuse to get outside and do something different.
For healthy food inspiration, look beyond meat. Peppers, onions, eggplant, and zucchini are all great grilling options. Also tasty, leafy greens like kale and other lettuces. Try grilling romaine for a heartier take on a Caesar salad, or toss kale with a little olive oil and salt, then place it on the grill for a few minutes to get crispy kale chips. And if your grill has seen better days, it might be time to upgrade, which you can still do.
In most states, home centers like Home Depot and Lowe's are considered essential, so they're open for business. Make sure to check grill inventory online and choose curbside pickup or delivery instead of going to the store to buy.
This Even Embers gas grill is a CR Best Buy for around $400. It earns excellent ratings for evenness and preheat performance. Or consider this recommended Next Grill Deluxe, available at the Home Depot for about $500. Both are mid-sized grills, which are good options, whether you're grilling for a crowd or keeping it simple. If charcoal is more your fuel of choice, CR also tests those grills.
Some people swear by the flavor of food cooked over a charcoal grill, and they're also less expensive than gas.
Consumer Reports recommends this Weber kettle grill for $165. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Linscheid.
Thank you, Leah. And Consumer Reports says if it's been a while since you fired up your gas grill, be sure to inspect for spider webs and insect nests, or as we found out on our patio, a family full of mice.
Family of mice.
Yeah, make sure you check for flare-ups.
And check for any gas leaks as well. I'm glad we found the mice before we turned the grill on.
Yeah, so am I.
Still to come at 4, we talk with Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers.
When we come back, we'll get a pandemic update, and we'll talk to the governor about the ongoing protests in the state over the police killing of George Floyd. That's coming up after Dana's forecast.
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
You were always the responsible one, so much like me, always taking care of everyone else. But this wasn't your responsibility. I already took care of the arrangements. The Ryans made it so easy. I didn't want you to worry about a thing. It's my last gift to you, my lovely daughter.
didn't choose this exact type of metastatic breast cancer, but I did pick clarity by knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Piqray, a treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC. Piqray is taken with fulvestrant after progression on hormone therapy and helps people live longer without disease progression. Do not take Piqray if you've had severe allergic reactions to it or any of its ingredients. Piqray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Piqray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before and during treatment, and more often if you have type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness, weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in some blood tests. Ask your doctor about Piqray.
The Leadership Development Program is designed for people who at some point intend to become supervisors. It would open the doors for you for a lot of different types of positions where you're going to have people reporting to you. The number one reason I would say students should come to Blackhawk Tech is that they're going to get a great education from great instructors who understand, make the learning more applicable to them, a real quality education at a very reasonable cost.
Andrew Larson here, owner of Larson Home Services. It's so nice to see things getting back to normal. We're grateful we've been able to continue to conduct business the right way and put LeafGuard gutter systems on homes throughout the area. LeafGuard is guaranteed so you can give up cleaning your gutters forever. And we'll continue to keep things rolling by offering the best deal ever on new LeafGuard gutter systems. Right now, get up to $1,000 off, free financing for 12 months, and a $100 Visa gift card with your LeafGuard purchase.
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
Well, take a look at this. Ever wonder what it would look like if your domesticated fox steals your phone? Well, wonder no more. Dixie the fox lives at the Save a Fox Rescue in Minnesota, and this hilarious caper is caught on camera as Dixie plays around while the owner of the rescue, Michaela Raines, gives chase. Each time the fox drops the phone, she quickly picks it up. New camera angle. After about a minute, Dixie finally drops the phone, rolls over on her back, and puts her paws up in the air.
Fox cam.
Fox cam.
Yeah. That's great.
That's our Fox News for the day.
They're like little cats.
Yeah, I know. They are. I think they're related to cats, aren't they?
Maybe.
We don't know.
I'll Google it. I will.
Okay.
If you never know, you can always find the answer somewhere.
That's true.
So we'll check it out. Right now, though, unfortunately, the focus is a little more on the rain rather than the foxes outside. We have a lot of showers coming through, and it's going to continue throughout the overnight hours and for much of tomorrow. Let's take a closer look at the rain and what our accumulation totals will end at in just a few minutes.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
We must never minimize the focused and distinct requirement to end racism against African Americans. We must remain driven by that singular goal. But the only way we can truly ensure an equal and just world for African Americans is to create an equal and just world for all. And it seems to us that work is strengthened by being all-inclusive. Latinx and Native American peoples, too, historically and recently have died at the hands of white people. Immigration laws, anti-Islamic and Asian bigotry and discrimination, and white terrorist attacks are all injustices that must end. We believe we have embarked on historic, foundational, sustainable societal change. This is a movement. It is just wrong that we have already politicized Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Justice matters. We are committed to that in ways we have never been before. Let's take this opportunity to make sure it's justice for all.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy an air conditioner. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase an air conditioner and a furnace at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping many people with type 2 diabetes like James lower their blood sugar. A majority of adults who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
Here's your A1C.
Oh, my A1C is under 7.
And you may lose weight. Adults who took Ozempic lost on average up to 12 pounds.
I lost almost 12 pounds.
Oh. For those also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
It lowers the risk. Oh.
Ozempic is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping me reach my blood sugar goal.
Ask your healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic. We remain committed to keeping Ozempic available and affordable during these challenging times. With the Ozempic Savings Card, you may be eligible to pay as little as $25 for a 1-month or 3-month prescription.
Good morning, class. Today's lesson is about shop and welcome. Do you know what day is coming up?
608 Day. You just go to MadisonMagazine.com, click on 608 Day to find great deals from businesses we love in the 608. You know, like the area code.
Very good, Emmy. When does this take place?
The week of June 8th, 608. Madison Magazine makes it easy to shop local.
She's my star student.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy an air conditioner. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase an air conditioner and a furnace at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Foxes are more closely related to dogs. Now we know they act like cats. I had to look it up. I'm sorry. We have showers building in. The more important story again, the rain building in right now. We do have heavy rain just south of Madison. There is a bit of a dry slot there behind this heavy line of showers into Rock and Greene County. Some light sprinkles towards Grant County and Iowa County right now. That heavier rain is lifting north, and this is going to continue on actually overnight. Just bands of heavy rain and continue into our Wednesday. We're just going to see those showers for the next 48 hours or so. Putting this on loop, you can see the rotation. Our low pressure systems, they always rotate counterclockwise. So you can see that movement as it's lifting north. The center of this still just a little further south, but it is building over. Tonight we have an alert day in because the heavy rain could lead to some isolated flooding concerns. Gusty winds possible this evening, and then for Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms will redevelop again in the afternoon and evening. So our 2-day rain totals could be anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, with some areas certainly expected to pick up more. Again, the center of this system now, tropical depression Cristobal lifting northeast over Wisconsin, the heavier rainfall in front of it. So we get this first round through, and then a cold front swings through, and that is going to cool us down quite a bit as we head into the second half of the week and the weekend. The heaviest rain likely along the western edge of the state. Once we get closer to about 9-10 o'clock, the rain kind of tapering off, not ruling out the chance for some showers tonight, but the heavy rain tapers off later this evening. We start off Wednesday with a little bit of sun. Check this out. We get a little bit of a break in the showers before later in the afternoon we become mostly cloudy with that cold front passing through and bringing another chance for showers and thunderstorms overnight into Thursday. Right now it seems likely most of Thursday will be dry. There'll be a slight chance for those showers lingering, but overall it should be a nice little break, and then we dry up heading towards the weekend. We do have a flash flood watch in effect for our western counties through the rest of the evening and tonight because all of this water coming down, it's rising very quickly. The heavier rain rain really adds things up. So if you can't see what you're driving on, if you can't see the road beneath it, certainly don't drive over the road. Turn around, don't drown. That way you don't put yourself and your car in danger. Along the western edge of the state, those totals still pretty consistent. Looks like 2 to 3 inches likely, but the entire state, at least the southern half of the state, likely going to pick up at least an inch of rain over the next 48 hours. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the mid-70s. We'll have some sunshine in the morning, but then the showers and thunderstorms build back in the afternoon. It's going to be very gusty outside when those storms do build back in, so we do have an alert day in the forecast for Wednesday. Partly sunny skies on Thursday with a slight chance for a shower, another slight chance on Friday, but most of the day will stay dry. And as we head into the weekend, we stay mostly sunny. Temperatures cooling down close to 70 degrees for afternoon highs on Saturday, and much of next week looks dry. That'll be a little warmer outside by the middle of the week. That's a quick look at your first warn forecast.
The death of George Floyd has ignited protests and criminal justice reform across the country and the world.
Protests continue here in Madison and across Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers joins us now to talk about what his administration is doing in response to the Black Lives Matter protests. And later we'll be talking with the governor about the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Evers, good to see you.
Thank you
for spending the time with us today. It's good to have a chance to talk to you.
Thanks, Susan and Mark. Good to be here.
So today is day 11 of the protests in Madison, which thankfully have been peaceful for the most part. But one of the controversial requests that the protesters have is to defund police. And overnight, protesters painted defund police in front of City Hall and the Madison Municipal Building. So what is the conversation that you think we should be having about this issue, especially on the local level?
Yeah, that's a great question, Susan, because there's probably as many definitions of defund the police as there are people that say those 3 words. So what I believe and where we need to focus our energy is around the basic knowledge that we know if we can deal with social issues up front, that will lessen the need for police to intervene. And so I think investing in our communities is the absolute top priority, whether it's issues around homelessness or addiction or mental health issues, three good examples. When we invest in those, especially in communities that struggle, that creates a better situation and a better situation for everybody. And it frankly will makes people more safe in their homes and their communities and lessens the need for intervention by police. So I think the issue has to be around let's talk about social issues that we can address straight head on in all our communities. And we know what they are. It's housing, it's making sure that we have good schools, we have good mental health services. So as we look to improve those going forward, that is going to make a huge difference, I believe, in how police need to intervene.
So you think that'll bring those sides closer together?
Oh, I think so. The idea that somehow police officers are going to disappear probably is not an accurate thought. We're still going to need help arresting people driving 100 miles an hour down on the Beltline, for example. So, and I use that as a huge issue, not a huge issue, but the fact of the matter is we all want to be safe, and the best way to be safe is to bring people together and invest in those issues that are disproportionately impacting communities of color and poor people.
Some of the protesters want you to declare racism a statewide emergency, which is something that as governor you have the power to do. You could issue an executive order. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, we could do that, but believe me, I am absolutely under the belief that people all across the state understand that this is an emergency. We've obviously had very, very important and good dialogue using our First Amendment rights all across the state. When we have people in Rhinelander and people in Milwaukee and people in Toma and Kiel, all across the state raising these issues, we get it. It's an emergency, and so therefore we need to move forward. I'm not sure saying the obvious is going to necessarily create create more of an impetus. Frankly, I think I've never witnessed this in my lifetime enough, that the impetus is already there.
So how can we bring people all over the state together?
Well, one thing that I hear a lot, Mark, and this may be news to some, but when I talk to people on the ground, I spend a lot of time doing that all across the state. Not electeds necessarily, but other leaders in the community, whether it's small town or big town in Wisconsin, is that they're convinced that the data already exists and the recommendations are already there. And the last thing they want is another task force or a blue ribbon commission. Bringing people together is important around action items, but people know that these issues have been studied and had a task force and blue ribbon commissions for a long, long time. I can remember 1967 where a commission came out of the riots there. And I look back and those recommendations still hold true today. So I'm just excited about the fact that people are concerned about this. Hopefully we can get something done at the state level. A lot of it's going to be done at the local level, and we have to make sure that people's voices are heard.
I'd like to talk about the pandemic as well, and we'll do that after the break. Stay with us.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Travis Ganser. Looking to update your bath, shower, or your entire bathroom? Ganser is the answer with Bath Creations by Ganser Company.
Schedule your free in-home consultation or visit our beautiful showroom on the Beltline.
A local family-owned business of 4 generations.
This 120-year-old building holds the most beautiful bicycle store in the world, Machinery Row Bicycles. Machinery Row Bicycles has Wisconsin's largest selection of Trek Bike Path bikes, Trek Kids, and Trek Road bicycles. New Trek mountain bikes will start under $390. Hundreds of accessories include free installation, free adjustments, kickstands, and quality service are all included in your Machinery Row Trek bicycle. So many fun things to look at and bicycles to test ride on the bicycle path by the lake at Machinery Row Bicycles.
While there's no instruction manual for what we're all going through now, there is Christian and Natalie and all our other associates at Pick and Save, working with one of the country's biggest supply chains for the Kroger family of brands, keeping our promise that our shelves will be continually stocked and that you'll always have access to the things you need. Because together, we've got you covered. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
When you think of a bank, you think of people in a place. But when you have the Chase mobile app, your bank can be virtually any place. So when you get a check, you can deposit it from here. And you can see your transactions and check your balance from here. You can detect suspicious activity on your account from here. And you can pay your friends back from here. So when someone asks you, where's your bank? You can tell them, here's my bank. Or, here's my bank. Or, here's my bank. Because if you download and use the Chase mobile app, your bank is virtually any place. So visit chase.com/mobile.
We've got the power. The Power Centers of Madison. Our highly trained service department has the power to keep your equipment running like new. We service all makes and models, from minor tune-ups and maintenance to major overhauls. Our certified mechanics can get your equipment up and running quickly. If you like to fix it yourself, between the 2 stores, we have the parts you need. At the Power Centers of Madison.
Ganser Company is proud to introduce 80 years in 80 minutes. We give you the skinny in 80 minutes to make an educated decision.
Infinity Windows from Marvin offer a lifetime warranty.
Remember, 80 years in 80 minutes from a local family business of 4 generations.
Tonight at 5, Dane County leaders are asking for reform in the jail. What changes they want addressed? That's tonight at 5.
This evening will be windy with rain and thunderstorms from Cristobal moving through southern Wisconsin. After showers tomorrow afternoon, quiet weather returns Thursday. My forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, a local radio station joins others across the country to play a civil rights anthem as George Floyd is laid to rest. We'll have that story for you tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Governor Evers is back with us now.
COVID-19 continues to be prevalent in Wisconsin, even though all 72 counties are in some phase of reopening. And Governor, there are a lot of unanswered questions as we try to move forward now with a reopening plan as we deal with the pandemic here. Can you tell us where things are now, and if you think things are moving in the right direction. Do you have any idea when we might be ready, for example, to move into phase 2 of reopening?
Yeah, well, certainly it is a mixed bag, Susan, but the good news is the percentage of positive cases that we see going, last 2 or 3 weeks is low and is relatively low. There seems to be some downward trend here around that, but in turn we continue to see some surges in different places, either because of individual places of occupation and employment or other situations. So it certainly isn't gone, and it is not going to be gone until we have a vaccine. So it's a mixed bag. Yes, what we've done, safer at home, making sure that we do all the social distancing things and hygiene, and trying to stay out of places that have a small area and lots of people in it. All those things are important, but it is a mixed bag. People cannot let their guard down. We have to make sure we do those simple social distancing things.
There is a fear of a second wave in the fall happening about the same time the flu starts to pick up again. What conversations are you having with health officials about that?
Yeah, our Department of Health Services is in constant communication with our local public health people, and I will tell you this: I'm so proud of not only our state level workers, but also the people that are doing this work at the county and the municipal level. But yes, we anticipate that sometime this fall there will be a surge.
There's a lot of anxiety about the fall, and as the former head of DPI, and for all of the parents that are watching this, is there anything you can tell us about what may lay ahead for school in the fall, and whether or not you expect things to be getting back to normal?
It's our hope. I mean, it's been my hope all along. We have to return to normalcy, and that means kids going to school. But school will look different. I mean, there will have to be things in place to make sure that social distancing can happen. And in addition, school districts will have to have plans B, C, and D in case something happens that we have to close a school for a short period of time. But I'm confident that I've seen the plans, I've seen what the department's working on. They're interacting with people all across the state and our health services department. So I think we're going to have the good plans in place. I know they're going to be announcing it, I think, end of June.
The Democratic National Convention is in Milwaukee this August. Have you talked to the National Party at all?
Oh, yes, we're talking with them regularly, and there hasn't been a decision made, although I think it's going to have to happen soon. It seems like it's unlikely that it will be a full-blown 50,000 people in downtown Milwaukee type of event. There may be parts of it, small parts of it, that will happen, but it'll look a lot different than what obviously you originally planned.
And Governor, before we let you go, can we just ask you on a personal level how you and your wife are doing? You've been holed up in the executive residence. Not a bad place to be, like all of us, being safer at home. How are you and your family?
Well, everybody's good. The extended family, we see very seldom. But Kathy and I, we've been married 47 years, and we both worked full time for all those 47 years in different places. So we'd only see each other in evenings at best, and so now we see each other much more often. And not that it's a challenge; it's a good thing, but it is different.
It is the new normal.
Yes, it certainly is.
Governor, a lot going on. Thank you for your time. We'll all get through this together.
We really appreciate you taking the time, Governor. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Susan and Mark. Appreciate it.
Celebration of June Dairy Month continues here in Watertown. We're at Rosie Lane Holsteins. Now, Lloyd, tell us a little bit about this beautiful farm.
Well, Rosie Lane Holsteins is a dairy operation 1 mile south of Watertown. Consists of 1,000 cows. We crop about 2,000 acres. We have 20 people working with us here, 20 families that work on the dairy here. And so we're trying to produce the healthiest, most nutritious product possible in a very environmentally sustainable manner.
Tim, how are you making sure here on the farm that the land, the water, and the animals are all
being protected?
All those are very important to us here at Rosie Lane. If the cow is what makes us tick, so we do quarterly animal training. Anyone that has to work with animals or even get near animals has to go through training so that the employees are all aware of what's good for a cow and what's not. On the environmental side, we strictly follow a nutrient management plan, which is kind of a description of how many nutrients the fields need depending on what crop you're growing. So we strive to strictly follow what those recommendations are.
Now this month especially, we celebrate not only you, but all of the dairy farmers across the state. What is something that the local community can do to support you during this month and in months after that?
Well, drink more milk and enjoy it. We really strive to produce the cheapest, healthiest food that we can possibly do, and while taking care of the environment.
Hi there. Well, look at, I've made 2 new girlfriends. From Rosie Lane Holsteins in Watertown, I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison. Can you give me a moo?
We asked real customers what they really love about Spectrum Internet and TV.
Spectrum Internet has the fastest speeds for everything I do.
There is no turning wheel. It's immediate.
Spectrum's the fastest. Bam.
Get the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance with Spectrum Internet, delivering starting speeds of 200 megabits. That's more than enough for all your devices for $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
I can't get over how much on-demand Spectrum has. I can literally watch a new movie every night.
I got all my shows, and he's got all his shows. With the Spectrum TV app, I can watch live TV anywhere. It's perfect.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
The fact that they don't have contracts, that says a lot about their service.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Install Spectrum services yourself. Get a self-installation kit shipped right to your home. Call 833-906-4499.
Now, there is water on the road, so if you are traveling anywhere this evening, know that you're going to want to give yourself a little extra distance between you and the car in front of you. You don't want anyone hydroplaning. Now, right now, traffic looks pretty good. We don't have any delays and no accidents to report. To get from Janesville to the Beltline, we're still at 28 minutes. In the upper teens for Sauk City to Middleton and Sun Prairie to downtown, a quick 9-minute drive this evening.
Ina, thank you. A newly married couple brought a touch of romance and joy to a crowd of Black Lives Matter protesters in Philadelphia. They joined the group with a kiss and a raised fist. The bride, Carrie Ann, was joined by her new husband, Michael Gordon, and shared a kiss in front of the cheering crowd. The two newlyweds joined the protest moments after saying their I do's.
It's a hopeful scene.
Something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. A new study shows 1/3 of all Americans are now showing signs of depression and anxiety. It's an alarming statistic about the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on the psychological well-being of Americans.
UW Health distinguished psychologist Shyla Murgain joins us now with some tips on how to develop some emotional protection during the pandemic. Hi, Shyla. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, great to be a guest again.
Oh, it's great to have you. And it's really true. The physical part of this is hard enough, but the emotional side of it seems to be even more challenging. And you've got some really good strategies. You suggest it begins with showing some compassion toward yourself and others. What do you mean by that?
So when we are going through something as difficult as COVID-19, you know, we see our state has opened up since I was the last guest on the show. We've had protests around the country in many small towns and large cities in Wisconsin, but yet the pandemic persists. And we find research shows from other situations like traumatic events like the 2003 SARS outbreak, that there were about 1/3 of people that experienced significant anxiety and depression that persisted. About 1/4 of people had that but were able to bounce back and stay resilient. So one of the things I really want to talk about is emotional protective equipment, EPE, that we can use to really stay resilient. We're having a tropical storm coming through right now as we're doing this interview, and I think of resilience kind of like a tree or a flower bending, but then bouncing back from that storm. And self-compassion is one of the things that can really help us. So when we work on self-compassion, we think about when we're struggling, when we're having a moment of difficulty, to simply acknowledge it and then offer kindness to ourselves. We can do this in 2 ways. First, just offer yourself some words of kindness, kind of like a best friend, how he or she might talk to you. You might say something as simple as, may I be kind to myself, or this is tough, but I can get through this. Second, you might consider doing some physical gesture of kindness. You might put a hand on your heart, taking a few deep breaths, or even give yourself a hug. So many people aren't getting enough touch. They're skin hungry. And something as soothing as giving yourself a hug or putting your hand on your heart and just taking a few breaths can help you, like that plant or tree that's bending in a storm, bouncing back, staying resilient, so you can really navigate this time.
You also say you should engage in mindfulness moments. What do you mean by that?
When we're stressed and overwhelmed or feeling down and depressed, and again, that's a striking statistic that a third of people are really struggling with this. Our mind is often going in the past or the future with doom and gloom images. Mindfulness can really help. I, in particular, want to encourage people to do a be here now practice. There are two ways I'm going to recommend it. The first is to simply put your fingers together. This helps stop some of that rumination, that negative thinking. You might push your feet in the ground and just take a moment, taking a deep breath in, and just tell yourself, be here now, taking that deep mindful breath. Then look around you using all your senses, noticing what you notice. That really helps ground you in the moment. Second, I encourage getting outside and doing this, maybe doing a walk or gardening. Those are really therapeutic things for the soul to connect with nature, and then do that similar be here now, maybe through movement, maybe you're digging in the dirt or moving your body with walking. And then again, connect with your senses, allow yourself to absorb what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, even tasting, everything you're noticing. Again, when we're grounded, we get to be that place of stability, that calm during the storm, and then we can best navigate kind of the self-care, the action steps that we want to take.
And you're not alone. Remember that.
Definitely. We really want to foster social connection. And in particular, during this time where there's a real multicultural movement, we're being asked to really break down some of those divides, those barriers that get in the way. And in particular, I want to recommend a just like me practice, that when you encounter strangers, friends, relatives, your own family, consider for a moment what life might be like for this person. And then you might really reflect on the ways you're similar, how this person is just like you. They've struggled, they've felt overwhelmed, they've felt sad and scared. They're worried about their own health or their family members' well-being. And then send a simple wish that they be well, that they're happy, healthy, free of suffering. And that kind of practice, again, offering compassion towards others, really recognizing the common humanity, helps us feel that we're part of this larger collective and we don't feel so alone, and can really be inspiring in terms of navigating this challenging time.
All right. And get help if you need to. Shyla, great to see you again. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shyla. Great talking to you today.
Final check of your forecast coming up.
Hi, Andrew Larson here with Larson Home Services. Safe to say 2020 has been a year unlike any we've ever seen. We're so grateful we've been able to conduct business safely and responsibly and do our small part to keep Wisconsin's economy rolling. And we'd like to thank all of the homeowners who have chosen to make Leaf Guard the choice for the last gutters their home will ever need.
They're the best. I don't have to worry about the gutters getting clogged up with the seeds, the branches, the dirt, the roof sheddings, and it's just one less worry for me.
Love to hear that. Right now, your Leaf Guard gutter system comes with some great money-saving extras. Get up to $1,000 off, free financing for 12 months, and call before this program is over and get a $100 Visa gift card with your new Leaf Guard gutter system. Don't wait. Call now to schedule your free estimate.
Let me introduce me.
Cuts, colors, braids, and fades. We stand for style. Cost Cutter Salons.
#1 in color in Wisconsin.
Every day, our doctors and nurses, our cooks, housekeepers, therapists, and every member of your healthcare team give champions of health.
Hi everyone, the rain is clearing out as we approach the weekend. We've got some good news for those of you wanting to get the family outside. We'll tell you where you can go camping across the state as we move closer to reopening Wisconsin, starting at 4:30 Wednesday.
Congratulations, class of 2020, as you enter the next chapter of your exciting lives, poised to do great things. Know that News 3 Now will be there to share your amazing stories.
It is cloudy and it is rainy. Here's a live look in Platteville right now with winds picking up just a little bit. Our rain showers are going to continue north, moving northwest overnight. Heavy rain right now just to the east of Madison, and another round of heavy showers starting to enter into Platteville. But Gary will have a closer look at this track during the 5.